You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Police run for their lives in KITWE after clashing with UPND cadres. Ex-prisoners threaten to protest over lack of employment from government. Youth Day celebrated as EVELYN College students demand 400% bursaries. In international news, South Africa's ZULU king GOODWILL ZWELITHINI dies aged 72. And in sports news, South African mining magnate PATRICE MOTSEPE elected CAF president. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
Your time of spiritual revival and awakening is now. Once again, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua invites the nation of Zambia to a 2-day conference on the order of Melchizedek with Dr. Francis Miles. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Dates, 19th and 20th of March 2021. Saturday 14 hours to 18 hours, Sunday 09 hours to 12 hours. Make a date with us.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. After spending different periods in detention and acquiring various craft skills, some former inmates feel government is not doing enough to address their plight. It is for this reason that a group of former prisoners have hinted on protesting so as to force government to hear their plight. The group, through its leader George Mwanza, says government cannot continue excluding them from national development as they are reformed citizens. Mr. Mwanza further explains that former prisoners ought to be kept busy so that they remove the thoughts of committing the same crimes that saw them going to prison.
Their plight is that government should also consider empowering them with capital to start up a new life after their release incarceration. This is a group of ex-convicts seeking government support. After spending years in correctional facility with nowhere to start from, but only having the skills obtained whilst inside, they only cry for one thing from government: empowerment.
I'm an ex-prisoner and I did the auto mechanics in prison. I've got a certificate. I'm appealing to the listening government to listen to us, help us. We are suffering. We are suffering. We see the government helping other people who are even doing fine.
Yes.
But us who are suffering, they have got a deaf ear. Please, our president, can you hear us? Can you hear our cry?
Street kids. Manje ba family now kupepa tandizo wakamati yenda kumunzi manzenda bwanji kumunzi nipe kambwiri nipempa kuli ba president uchi batiyanga nepo olo kwenda kumunzi ufunga watu wanipasa ukambwiri ba president waniyangani.
What we need, we also want the government to empower us with capital.
Yes.
We need them to give us capital. We want them to give us tools so that we can be working on our own. If not that, then they should give us employment.
Yes. And what's hitting more is that they have given us skills quite okay, which can bring profit to this nation Zambia. But they don't consider those. And being an ex-prisoner, I'm considered that I'm an outcast. I cannot be employed in the government. I cannot be employed where. So, but they are telling us we will incorporate you. When are they going to incorporate us?
They have since vowed to hold a peaceful demonstration on the 30th of April 2021 if government does not address their concern.
Are we not Zambians? Despite Gruvianya, but we still remain in Zambia. And we are Zambians, we need them to empower us, to remember us. And this is the reason why for the demonstration. And we are going to demonstrate. No one is going to stop us. If they want to stop us, then they should address us as soon as possible.
Tailoring kwalisa kutunga na certificate iliko but cap yako tinikale na machine nango yambe kutunga ni bemo amene ndinga stechani mwatinga visile so pemba chabe tandizo but tandize kwa pase kwa makapto.
Despite many individuals getting released from correctional facilities, 3/4 of them get rearrested within a short period of time after their release. Men and women released from correctional facilities receive minimum preparation and inadequate assistance and resources, which makes their re-entry into communities a challenge. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Some police officers on the Copper Belt province have been injured after clashing with opposition United Party for National Development UPND cadres in KITWE. The incident was instigated when police moved in to stop a UPND procession to mark Youth Day on account that no party was allowed to hold processions in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Police spokesperson Esther Katongo explains that 25 UPND cadres have been arrested, while the UPND claim that 37 of their members have been detained. More in the following report.
It was this procession by UPND cadres in KITWE on the Copper Belt which the Zambia Police Service were against. The UPND cadres had gathered at KITWE's Imposamavu Square en route to the party secretariat in Nkana West when a horde of police officers arrived to stop the procession on account that in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, no party should hold any sort of processions. The police then instituted random arrests of UPND cadres, but some of the cadres who managed to escape returned to rescue their colleagues who were being arrested. As the confrontation heightened, one police officer was seen picking a stone in readiness to charge, but this was the beginning of the worst scenes as police and the cadres engaged in a full physical fight. The driver of the police van then decided to speed off to save his own life, leaving behind his fellow officers to fight for theirs. The officers, especially women, were seen fleeing the scene for their own safety as tear gas canisters could be heard being fired. Some cadres were not so lucky as they walked home with blooded faces. By broadcast time, 37 UPND cadres had been arrested and detained by police on the Copper Belt. But police spokesperson Esther Katongo in an interview explains that the cadres were being blocked from proceeding to where the laying of wreaths was taking place. She has also confirmed that a number of police officers have been injured in the process.
That group charged towards police officers, and in the process, one of our officers fell. And also the same people, the same mob, began throwing stones at police officers. So we have some of our police officers who have been injured. Then reinforcement was sent, and we have managed to apprehend about 25 people. And from the 25, or maybe I should just say that screening is underway so that we find out who was involved and who was not involved.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News.
The Zambia Police Service have arrested 4 suspected Patriotic Front PF cadres who stormed Chete FM radio station of Nakonde in Mochinga province and disrupted a radio program featuring UPND Provincial Chairman Matthews Chilekwa, among other UPND members. Deputy Inspector General of Police for Administration Richard Mwene says the police are still investigating the matter to ascertain circumstances leading to the act by the suspected PF cadres. There has been a spate of raids on radio stations across the country hosting opposition political members, a trend raising concerns among stakeholders. Meanwhile, the police have admitted that they have not done much in protecting journalists from attacks minted on them by political cadres. And the Minister of Information and Broadcasting Services Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga has also expressed worry at the emerging trend of assaults on journalists by political cadres, urging the police to take action against cadres found wanting.
Attacks on media houses have continued to be on the rise in the country. As August 2021 draws to a close, political tension has continued to fuel anger which some scrupulous people are venting on the media. The latest attack on Chete FM radio station in Nakonde district comes barely 2 weeks after President Lungu assured the nation that the media will be protected from attacks by cadres. And Deputy Inspector General of Police Richard Mwene says 4 suspects have since been arrested in connection with the attack and that they will be tried accordingly.
To confirm that 4 people incarcerated, that's in Mochinga province. We apprehended them, they will answer to the charges, they will appear before the courts of law. The other point is that sometimes also when you are investigating, only that we don't come to the public to announce, now we're at this stage, now this stage. So there's what is called asymmetric information. So the public may not know what we are doing, but we are working on that. Only that we don't come and start announcing to the people. When it's quite like that, you think nothing is going on. It's simply asymmetric information. We are not sharing the same information to one instant. But as police, we're on the ground working, compiling the docket and the like.
The Deputy Inspector General also says his institution will meet with the media to discuss how best the 2 institutions can collaborate to ensure that the media is protected from being attacked.
We are there to protect you. We are there to work together. I think our starting point will be in our security plan. We have already put measures where we shall quote you, Madam, through MISA. We reach out to the journalists where we can have a working breakfast where we are going to look at the nitty-gritties of how we should protect each other. This forum is simply to say we are ready to work with you because we are partners in policing. But beyond that, we have planned that we shall have some seminars, some workshops of some kind, where we are going to sit, we deliberate. Where we are not satisfied, then we are going to look at things in great detail, in a very comprehensive way. So that is our approach.
And Ministry of Information Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga has called on the police to ensure that journalists are protected from any form of attack by any cadre, regardless of political affiliation.
With DIG, you know, so I'm getting the petition. I'm getting. DIG, don't hide the. Speak specifically to our colleagues in northern and Mochinga provinces, because lately I think this is where this problem is rife. Just to assure you that government is with you. It is government policy to ensure that the media practitioners have the necessary space they require to practice, to talk to whoever they think is newsworthy. And so, to show that we are with you in solidarity, in the next few days, I plan to visit the radio stations that have been affected.
The media are an important estate as they keep the nation informed, educated and entertained. The need to ensure that the media is protected remains very important to keeping the peace in the nation. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
President Edgar Lungu says youths are the greatest assets the government can use for national development. He says this is why the government will continue giving the youth survival skills through training. He reiterates that the government wants the youth to be leaders in farming, engineering and other fields. He adds that the government will listen to young people as it seeks to find ways of improving their lives through training and empowerment. Meanwhile, government through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Child Development has procured 50 fuel tankers as part of its program to empower youths in the transport sector. President Lungu led the entire nation in commemorating Youth Day.
To this effect, my government has put in place policies that provide guidance on development and engagement of the youth, such as the 7th National Development Plan, National Youth Policy, Industrialization and Job Creation Strategy, and the Action Plan for Youth Empowerment and Employment. These policies are a clear demonstration of my government's renewed commitment towards uplifting the living standards of our youth as they advocate for a coherent, multi-sectoral and mainstream approach to youth empowerment and employment creation. I wish to therefore urge all public and private actors to fully focus on youth participation and enhance efforts towards mainstreaming youth in all their programs. It is only through mainstreaming that we shall be creating optimal opportunities for our youth. In the same vein, I wish to urge the youth to rise to the occasion and participate fully in all matters that affect their well-being and the country's development at large.
Meanwhile, President Edgar Lungu, while laying wreaths at the Freedom Statue, ignored some EVELYN Hon College second-year students who peacefully protested, demanding that his government restores their 100% bursaries, which have been reduced to 50%. The Ministry of Higher Education Student Loans Committee reduced 100% student loans to 50% for the 2020 intake students in unclear circumstances. And the affected students' representative, Boston Chola, in an interview says students were given 100% bursary in January 2020, but after a term during the first wave of the COVID-19 when schools closed, a murmur was circulated that the bursaries would be reduced by 50%. Mr. Chola says when schools reopened this year, the affected students have been engaging the Ministry of Higher Education, but to no avail. He says the affected students have wondered as to how the 2019 and 2021 have been granted the 100% bursaries, while the 2020 intake bursaries were squashed to 50% without any sort of explanation.
When the school reopens, we came and we've been going to the Minister of Higher Education several times, but they were just giving us a negative answer. They were telling us there's nothing that they can do, that they are following the policies from the government. Now we don't know the policy which were the following, because we were expected that even 2021 they'll give them 50%, but to our surprise, 2021 students were given 100%, but as 2020 intake we were given 50%. And even 2019 intake, they have 20%, 100%. So we don't know the reason why as 2020, the 100% bursary was reduced to 50%. Yes. So we are appealing for to the government so that they can retrieve our 50% so that that is our humble appeal from His Excellency, Mr. Dr. Edgar Chagwalu.
We are here to appeal for the 50% bursary that was cut for us, as I am right now. I'm an orphan, and the 50% bursary was taken away from us. We are pleading that the government returns it to us so that we can be able to pursue our dreams. We are here. We need your help. We want to pursue our dreams. Please, we need your help. We need your help. We need our 50% bursaries back. We are unable to afford our tuition fees. We can't afford to pay 5,775 per term. I'm vulnerable. I need help.
And UPND President Hakainde Hichilema, in addressing youths at the party secretariat to commemorate Youth Day under the theme Enhancing Development Through Sustainable Youth Partnerships, encouraged youths to continue believing that better days lay ahead. Mr. Hichilema tells Zambian youths that he feels their pain of joblessness, hence his continued desire of seeking to lead the nation so as to address their plight. Mr. Hichilema says once elected Zambian president in August 2021, he will prioritize the empowerment of youth through various empowerment schemes to enhance their economic and social well-being. He has meanwhile reminded the youths that they are the majority. In terms of numbers in the country, they hold the power to deliver change they so desire on the 12th of August 2021 if all his plans are to be achieved.
NDC ulibe change ngati mwenda uku UPND enda uku ni kugwirizana simasolera ijandeke ni ndalama sana zija oza nami watiai chunga gulise ndeke ya military ndalama zinakula ndeke ya military sivano ndalama mupesa chani muchindeke moja kapenta imachoka moja bunga imachoka moja.
Meanwhile, a Zambian youth living with albinism, Stanley Msomali, has encouraged other youths living with various disabilities in the country not to get discouraged with the situation but conquer their dreams. Msomali, a fourth-year student at Kwame Nkrumah University, says youths with disabilities are not different from the rest of the other youths, hence the need for them to be included in the development process of the country. Details in this report.
Youth Day is an important day in the Zambian calendar. It helps the government reflect on how it is helping young people curtail the increasing problems they face. Zambia also uses this day to measure the youth's contribution to society and how it can help them become more successful in their endeavor. As the country marks this day, we look at persons with albinism who are among marginalized groups in society. The story of Stanley Msomali, based in Lusaka's Garden Park, is that of opportunity approached with ability to validate the saying that disability is not inability, as he appears to be resolute to break more barriers. With the help of Goodwill Ambassador for Persons with Disabilities, Elijah Ngwale, he was able to secure a scholarship from the Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities to pursue tertiary education in the teaching fraternity. Through a scholarship, he managed to overcome sight problems and other obstacles and is now a fourth-year student at Kwame Nkrumah University, and he will be graduating in July this year, but it has not been an easy journey, as he explains.
So in terms of reading, it has been a problem because, as you know, the font is always 12 that in books, and if they can just increase the font, it could have been better. So they can even bring books for partially sighted to the precise way. And the challenges are that there we face in terms of this time when you are going towards October, it's very sunny, and there to access such screen is quite.
He regrets that it is not easy to find employment, and sometimes they are discriminated based on poor sight, adding that government empowerment initiatives have been disability blind.
Because we're just here to say, okay, they are giving the youth empowerment fund. When you just go there and say, come next week, come next year, it's a month class. So that, I don't see it as in so beneficial to me.
He is however conversant that persons with cross-cutting disabilities have to stand up for their social and political rights in order to be counted in national governance.
Remember that when you want to make some necessary noise in order for your voice to be heard. That's what they say. So if ourselves were not like crying for what we're supposed to have as citizens of Zambia, we cannot have them. So it's our wake-up call for my fellow people living with albinisms to wake up and also to fight for our things that we're supposed to have.
And veteran disability rights advocate Elijah Ngwale has a message for young people and the disability movement.
So the fault in Julius Caesar, the fault sometimes is not with government. The fault is not what, the fault is with us persons, with you. Me, I did my work, I'm now impotent, metaphorically speaking, at 73. But you're not doing enough. So if you did enough, if you spoke, all of you, spoke rubbish, right rubbish, and then the rubbish was taken to be a gospel truth, it would be all right. But you're not speaking now. So the message is that, let me summarize it this way.
Youths who are differently abled are more willing to learn the puzzle of life and are eager to contribute to national development. It is everyone's duty to help them conform to the aspirations of the 7th National Development Plan of not leaving anyone behind. Patrick Soko, Camnet News, Lusaka.
We now take our first set of commercials. To stay with us as we still have more interesting stories lined up for you.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, my dear. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crispy, fresh apple taste from the garden. Can I have happy apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your
Enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing Happy in a can.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call Vita-Rich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only cowbell with Vita-Rich puts you on the fast track.
Zambia, your time of spiritual revival and awakening is now. Once again, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua invites the nation of Zambia to a 2-day conference on the order of Melchizedek with Dr. Francis Miles. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Dates, 19th and 20th of March 2021. Saturday 14 hours to 18 hours. Sunday 09 hours to 12 hours. Make a date with us.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. The Southern Africa Interfaith Peace Mission has called on all political players in the country to desist from engaging in violent activities that would disturb the peace of the nation before, during and after the August general election. Interfaith Peace Mission Executive Director Howard Banda says his institution has been officially launched in Zambia to ensure that it continues to preach the message of peace in the country. Mr. Banda says his institution will ensure that it engages all political players on how they can campaign peacefully without putting the lives of the innocent citizens at risk. Mr. Banda was speaking during the launch of the Interfaith Mission in Lusaka today. And Interfaith Deputy Secretary General Agnes Nchiwale says people aspiring to take up political positions should not be motivated by gaining wealth but by rendering a service to the Zambian people.
The Southern African Interfaith Peace Mission has opened its doors to the Zambian community to ensure that peace continues to be preached in the country ahead of the general elections. The Interfaith Mission says the peace that the country has continued to enjoy for years should not be taken for granted, as violence has slowly started bearing its roots in the country. Interfaith Peace Mission Executive Director Howard Banda has since challenged political players in the country to work together to ensure that peace continues to prevail ahead of the elections.
If we see that Zambia is driven to a position where it belongs and where she belongs, our goal is to also to emphasize on politicians not to abuse the political space which has been enjoyed by Zambians from 1964 up to today.
As we are going towards the elections, we should be very careful, we should be sensitive on who we are going to put in offices, because most of the people this time, they're just power hungry, they're trying to enrich themselves. But let us look at a leader who has the qualities of leadership, who is going to govern the nation according to the 10 commandments. Fights, political violence, but we are saying no to this. We want peace. Zambia is known to be a beacon of peace.
And Interfaith General Secretary Luke Mwanza says the country has lost the true meaning of one Zambia, one nation due to tribalism that has taken center in most campaign messages being preached in the country. If left unchecked, tribalism will divide the nation.
There's also a problem of tribalism that is happening here in Zambia, silently underground, but it's coming bit by bit up in the open. I remember when we were young, growing up somewhere in the Copper Belt, we never knew people's surnames. We just grew up, everyone was a neighbor, everyone was a brother or a sister. But today, people emphasize so much on where are you coming from, what is your name, it's just becoming a problem here in Zambia. So tribalism is beginning to divide Zambia slowly but surely.
Where there's no peace, there's no development. Where there's no peace, we cannot live. We can't make money where there's no peace. I know that a lot of youths are being used. Even a lot of people, even adults are being used. But we're not going to tolerate such nonsense that people can be used. What we want is to preach peace. We only have one Zambia. We can't allow it to miss this chance. We only have one Zambia. And Zambia has not been to war. We don't want to let it to go in war.
Zambia is known for its peace, and the need to ensure that peace continues to prevail remains the mandate of all well-meaningful Zambians. Prudence Tota, reporting for Camnet TV News. The Zambia Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training, ZAHIST, has called on government to come up with deliberate policies of empowering local people to benefit from the abundant natural resources in the country. Institution Executive Director Clarence Kalma says youth should also be empowered with land so that they can venture into agriculture activities, which in turn will provide employment for them. Mr. Kalma says youths should be at the center of national development by ensuring that they are empowered with the necessary resources. He has since called on youth in the country to become innovative by creating their own businesses that will create jobs in the country.
we have seen that aspiring candidates are just now going in constituencies, giving handouts, literally handouts. We do not promote that. We are promoting sustainable empowerment, whereby you train someone, you give someone, you empower someone with a skill. Then that skill will be able to bring food on their table. If you give someone meal, the meal can finish, what will happen? So we are calling for sustainable empowerment so that these empowerment funds can be able to reach the intended beneficiaries. We have seen that oftentimes people are being given money, leaving real people, people with disabilities, even the young people who have ideas, but they are not given these funds. So we are really appealing to government to support us because young people have what it takes. We have moved from our comfort zones to create companies, sustainable companies. But for us to be really strong, we need government support and other developmental partners.
In a related development, young people have reminded government to address the social and economic challenges affecting them in the country. The youths have cited the lack of employment, lack of access to empowerment programs, among others, as some of the challenges affecting them. Speaking during Youth Day celebrations held at the Civic Forum on Housing and Habitat Offices in Lusaka, the youths also refused to be used as tools of violence ahead of the August polls. Speaking earlier, Civic Forum on Housing and Habitat Executive Director Grace Mtonga indicated that the organization desires to see more investment in youth programs that promote research and development. He says it is therefore important that attention is paid towards addressing the multidimensional inequalities that confront youths, including adolescent girls, limited access to quality education, decent employment, and shelter, among others.
But no matter how qualified you are, as long as you so
and other stakeholders, if they can help us by forming skill centers in every constituency, it would really help us, the youths, by learning skills like tailoring, how to make crafts, so that we can be able to sell those things and make some money and get empowered.
Beyond 2021, we the youth of the country expect the government of the day to be more inclusive in the national development, because we are the future leaders of today and tomorrow. So we don't want the government to discriminate when opportunities arises.
In the recent past, we have noted with sadness the increase in the number of young teenagers who are under the influence of food drugs, chamba, and other drugs. These habits have left a number of youths delinquent as they indulge themselves in illicit activities such that they create permanent damage to their psychological well-being.
It therefore cannot be re-emphasized that critical attention should be paid towards addressing the multidimensional developmental inequalities that confront our youths. These include adolescent girls' limited access to quality education, health, decent employment, decent and adequate shelter, and access to housing-related services such as clean water and good sanitation. We have 9 years to reach the time frame of attaining the SDG goals and targets, which should be met by the year 2030. In this window, Zambia has the potential to change the narrative by employing strategies that would harness the existing demographic dividend before the year 2030. The demographic dividend can be applied innovatively and offer the desired gains if the country can have educated and skilled youths who are productive and ambassadors of positive change.
And moving on in the news, some school friends and classmates of a 22-year-old second-year biomedical science student at EVELYN College, Boyd Mpundu, who was diagnosed with cancer of the lips in 2020, have turned up for him with the view of raising 200,000 kwacha for him to access specialized medical help. Boyd's friends explain that they are touched with the suffering of their colleague, hence embarking on various fundraising ventures to raise money so that he can be flown to India for surgery. Representative of Boyd's friends, Mvula, explains that their colleague has since dropped out of college due to the worsening of his health condition.
Gathered with my colleagues to make contributions for our friend who was diagnosed with lip cancer. So we came through government complex to make contributions for our friend. Last week we received calls from the family who are complaining that our friend needs treatment as soon as possible. So as classmates and fellow intellectuals to the person who is sick, we came together so that we make contributions for him because the surgery is costing 200,000. And the family on its own cannot manage to raise such an amount of money. So as the students, we have come together so that we try to raise any amount for him which can help out in the treatment, because he's supposed to go for surgery in India, which is very far. Because here he was told that the surgery cannot be done in Zambia. So the only place he can do surgery is India. So the money which is needed is 200,000. So as fellow students, we have come together so that we make contributions for him. If we manage to raise 50,000 or 100,000 for him, it will be good because we really need to help out our brother. So we are calling upon all well-wishers who can come on board to help us out in making contributions for our brother. As for us, even non-students, we are taking this upon ourselves to make contributions wherever we may go. We are contributing for our friends.
A Lusaka-based Magoye-born well-wisher rose to the occasion and completed the stalled construction of Chitongo Clinic in Mazabuka district. Baita FM reported last year that the construction works were initiated by the community in 2008 with funding from Constituency Development Fund, CDF, but the structure remained incomplete without window frames, incomplete plastering and floor. Nakombe Kabunda then moved in to complete the structure and also constructed 3 toilets at the health facility worth over 50,000 kwacha. Magoye Member of Parliament Emerson Machila received the facility and thanked Kabunda for her commitment to ensuring locals have healthcare services closer to them. Chief Hanjalika's representative Malambo Chinjila also praised Kabunda for the gesture and called on Machila to ensure that the facility is urgently opened to the public. He says residents of Chitongo walk long distances to access health services and urge the people to cherish the aid from Kabunda. Meanwhile, Kabunda says her gesture is meant to plow back to the community and participate in the development of the area. In September 2020, Ms. Kabunda launched a massive empowerment program in Mazabuka's Magoye constituency in aspiring to represent the people of Magoye in Parliament from August 12th and beyond. Nakombe Kabunda, who hails from Magoye, started empowering women and youths with different skills to promote self-reliance in the 10 wards of the constituency last year. She explained that the program started with training beneficiaries with various skills ranging from chicken rearing, agriculture, carpentry, and other life-supporting skills. She believes knowledge is a key to development, adding that beneficiaries will later receive resources to venture into various income-generating activities. Meanwhile, in December 2020, 2020, Ms. Kabunda hosted an end-of-year party for traditional leaders. During her address, she said the gesture to host a party for traditional leaders was meant to recognize and appreciate the role village headmen and headwomen play in the development of the community. We take another set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have international and sports news. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your time of spiritual revival and awakening is now. Once again, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua invites the nation of Zambia to a 2-day conference on the order of Melchizedek with Dr. Francis Miles. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Dates, 19th and 20th of March 2021. Saturday, 14 hours to 18 hours. Sunday, 09 hours to 12 hours. Make a date with us.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, King GOODWILL ZWELITHINI, the traditional leader of South Africa's Zulu nation, has died aged 72 after being hospitalized for more than a month, his family announced Friday. ZWELITHINI had health problems related to diabetes, according to local news reports. ZWELITHINI, the 8th Zulu king, reigned for more than 50 years, making him the longest-serving Zulu monarch. King ZWELITHINI was an outspoken critic of government's planned land redistribution policy, which could affect large tracts of land belonging to the Zulu nation. President Cyril Ramaphosa praised ZWELITHINI for his contribution to the province's economic and cultural development.
GOODWILL ZWELITHINI, the revered king of South Africa's Zulus, passed away in the early hours of the morning on Friday at 72 years old after weeks in hospital. The now deceased king, admitted to hospital last month for diabetes, wielded great influence among millions of Zulus through his largely ceremonial and spiritual role, despite having no official power in modern South Africa. The news came by way of a statement issued by the Royal Palace and signed by Mangosuthu Buthelezi, a powerful veteran politician who is also a Zulu prince. Quote, "It is with the utmost grief that I inform the nation of the passing of His Majesty King GOODWILL ZWELITHINI, King of the Zulu nation." End quote. Born in Nongoma, a small town in the southeastern KwaZulu-Natal province, ZWELITHINI ascended the throne in 1971 during the apartheid era at the age of 23, 3 years after the death of his father.
We now get into sports news. In sports news, Trevor Meleki, a Lusaka resident, has called on Zambians to take interest in aerobics in order to have a healthy lifestyle. Aerobics exercise reduces the risk of many conditions, including obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, stroke, and certain types of cancer. And he says regular physical activity promotes growth and development and has multiple benefits for physical, mental, and psychosocial health that undoubtedly contribute to learning.
Today I came to Lewanikamo to just have a fitness with my friends. We went for a run. Now we join in the aerobics which are happening behind me here. Guys, we need to spend some time just to look after yourself, be active, and then enjoy your life if you have got an active lifestyle.
And still in sports news, South African mining magnate PATRICE MOTSEPE has been elected president of the Confederation of African Football CAF. MOTSEPE's success disgraced Ahmed was vying a 2-year FIFA ban over governance issues and will require his vast array of business skills to fix the organization. A plan brokered by FIFA put MOTSEPE in charge with Senegalese Austin Senghor and Mauritanian Ahmed becoming vice president and Al-Momar a special advisor. Motsepe will be the first South African to lead the CAF, following in the footsteps of 2 Egyptians, a Sudanese, an Ethiopian, and a Cameroonian and Malagasy. Unlike previous African football leaders who came from National Association backgrounds, his connection with the sport stems from owning record 2016 African champions Mamelodi Sundowns. The 59-year-old began his working life as a lawyer, switched to mining, and is now involved in many businesses. Forbes magazine estimates his personal wealth at 2.9 billion, 2.4 billion euros.
South African mining magnate Patrice Motsepe has been elected CAF president. Motsepe succeeds disgraced Malagasy Hamad, who is serving a 2-year FIFA ban over governance issues and will require his vast array of business skills to fix the organization. A plan brokered by FIFA puts Motsepe in charge with Senegalese Augustin Senghor and Mauritanian Hamad Yahya becoming vice president and Anuma a special advisor. Motsepe will be the first South African to lead CAF, following in the footsteps of 2 Egyptians, a Sudanese and an Ethiopian. Motsepe in 2003 became the owner of South African football club Mamelodi Sundowns.
That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Police run for their lives in KITWE after clashing with UPND cadres. Ex-prisoners threaten to protest over lack of employment from government. Youth Day celebrated as EVELYN college students demand for 100% bursaries. In international news, South Africa's Zulu king GOODWILL ZWELITHINI dies aged 72. And in sports news, South African mining magnate PATRICE MOTSEPE elected CAF president. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Psalms 91, verse 2 to 3, and it reads, I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. He himself will deliver you from the hunter's nest, from the destructive plague. On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.